This is the Stabby Road Podcast.
God bless.
Wait till you see the script we come up with. It will be
Clockwork Orange
nuts
on
up.
mushrooms like you wouldn't believe.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
Or 2001? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
2001
changed my
If
life.
you guys write a script, I would.
It's gonna be like that scene in Family Guy where they're singing like this amazing folk song, and it just cuts to what they're really doing. Yeah. Like, you're gonna show us the script. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Like, this is the greatest
This
thing
isn't
we've
even
ever
English.
created.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of scribbling in crayon. Like
Make it.
One page is just
Get
stuck
us
together. with
financing.
puke.
Get
Oh
us
my
financing.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
Green
What just
light
has a
art
sock
script for
tape to it?
2003.
Yeah.
The sequel to 2001 that is a prequel to 2010.
Why does Sacco Papetti show up on page 79?
Jack Torrance on the moon.
Oh my god. I'm here for it. Let's make a Kubrick universe where it's all canon.
It's all
Yeah.
canon.
Let's make
all the
that.
Well, so many of his movies are like historical movies
I
or these
know.
tiny little pocket things.
But that'd
Yeah.
be funny.
Like, there's no
Oh, yeah.
reason The Shining couldn't be in the same universe as Eyes Wide Shut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why
And all of a sudden
not?
Barry Lyndon shows up? Yeah, I'm on board.
A bunch of portals open up like fucking
Yes.
Like an
It's like a
Endgame.
multiverse.
Oh my
to
god.
fight
Kubrick
the giant
multiverse.
space baby.
Oh my god, that'd be hysterical. All right.
Well, see, we didn't even need
That's
shrooms
gonna be
to
in
do
your
that
script.
one,
we
Yeah,
guys.
did.
that's your script.
I'm writing that down just for shits and giggles.
All right,
So-
another.
There are a lot of technical accomplishments too in the Shining. So
Oh, that's right.
the
The
use
Shining.
of Steadicam.
Oh, yeah,
Find our way back.
we got to Ullman's office.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
we're at
discussing
Ullman's
the film
office.
so far.
Barry
That's about
Den- I wanna
20,
bring up-
20 minutes in, maybe? 10
I
minutes
do-
in?
I do want
5?
to shout out Barry Dennen real quick, who is Pontius Pilate in Jesus Christ Superstar.
Uh-huh.
Has maybe half a line, doesn't exist in the book.
Yeah.
I don't know why they cast such a great actor in such a very small part. I wonder if he had
Same thing with not Ann Baxter, the one who played
the doctor.
the doctor.
Yeah.
She's like a huge
Yeah.
British
That's
theater actor.
Maybe my favorite scene in the movie.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so good.
Oh, it's
It's
good, yeah.
Shelley's best performance in the movie.
It's, yeah, it,
And great smoking, on-screen smoking.
There's a
by
lot
Shelley
of
Duvall.
awesome smoking.
A lot of awesome smoking.
I said this last night when we were watching it. I said, there's so much tension in the movie. For me, the biggest tension was watching that fucking act
Oh,
at the
yeah,
end of her
man.
cigarette.
waiting
Oh, yeah.
for it
Yeah.
to fall.
But she's so uncomfortable with
Yeah.
how she's lighting it, and like it
Mhm.
almost
Oh,
looks like
yeah.
she's never picked up a cigarette before.
Yeah.
And it's so, and she ends up being, you see her smoking later, so you know that Shelley Duvall can smoke.
Yeah.
and make
Ann
it look
Jackson.
natural.
I kept saying Ann
So
Baxter.
it's clearly
Yeah.
like a choice there. And
Absolutely, it's the lie
Yeah.
that she can't quite
And-
sell
and
to the psychiatrist.
Something I noticed in this dive that I did. Shelley Duvall, Wendy talked about, he's been on the wagon for 5 months. This event happened, where, he broke Danny's arm and it was this accident and all these things. Jack later, when he's talking with Grady, do you remember what he says?
Which part specifically?
When he's talking about breaking Danny's arm?
Pulled it.
He was
Oh,
like, "I
Lloyd, when he's
pulled
talking to
it."
Lloyd.
He's talking to Lloyd, sorry.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
pulled
okay.
it.
In the book,
and-
it is indeed Grady.
Oh,
Because
It is
Grady,
right, it is
Grady
right.
is the bartender in the book.
Yes.
momentary
Yeah.
lapse
Momentary
of muscular
lapse of
coordination.
And then that little
Momentary
snap.
Happen to anybody.
Yeah, that little snap makes it so much
Could
worse.
it happen to anybody? But he says it happened 5 years ago.
Oh, does he?
Yes.
Yeah.
5 goddamn years.
5 goddamn years.
Oh my God, you're
so
right.
clearly it happened more than once. Wendy's talking about, we're giving him this one chance because it just happened the one time.
and it's only been 5 months.
Yeah.
Clearly it's
Ooh.
happened multiple times.
Interesting.
So it's not just the
or
sort of
like
one.
that's like Nicholson's take on like an acting choice as far as
Oh,
Jack
maybe he
goes.
changed.
Like he's just like she's harped on it for so long
Yeah,
that
it's
it feels
possible.
like
Yeah.
his whole
I would
life.
say yes, but there are script supervisors that would
Be all over that.
Yeah,
be all over that.
Kubrick would
have
be all
noticed
over that.
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
No, that's why I mean, like, I'm saying they allowed it because
Yes.
it was a character
Yes.
choice from
Yes.
Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, for him, mentally, it feels
Right,
like
because
that long.
because then somebody's an unreliable narrator. then,
Yeah, yeah.
and you don't know who it is.
I mean, I like both.
Because it could also be it could also be Wendy, her brain going this, could be as
Like, this is the
thinking of
first
it as-
time this has
that it's
happened. This has
always
never happened
yeah.
Right.
before.
Yes.
or that or what
happening
you're saying
behind
is
you
that
right now,
it may
Wendy.
have
No,
actually
it's
happened
not.
more than once.
Yeah. I like all those interpretations.
Yeah, they're all.
actually.
None of them are good.
I mean, that's
That's the thing.
That is
None of them
that's
are
probably
any
my
better than
favorite
the
scene
other.
in the movie.
But they're real.
Right.
Yeah.
Her and it holds on her. Like most of that scene is
Yes.
one take on her face. It's,
Yeah.
she's so plays it perfectly.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, and that scene. I mean, there's so I mean, all the Ullman stuff. So much of this, I was any extended dialogue scene is basically ripped verbatim from the book.
Nice. Okay.
The stuff with Jack and Lloyd the bartender, you know, when he's like, "White man's burden, Lloyd,
Yeah.
white man's burden." Like all of that was ripped right from the book.
Nice.
Um,
Well, was there? I'm curious then if we're like, you know, obviously, the one conspiracy theory, not
Yes.
even theory, it's not. It is
Yes.
that I agree with from 237 is the genocide of the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Was that present in the book too?
so okay,
Or did he
I
lean
have
more
thoughts on
into
this.
that?
No, well, they do go into the history of the Overlook.
Okay.
That I believe is sort of hinted at.
Okay.
Most of the history has to do with after it's been built. You know, they talk about there was a lot of mob stuff that went
Yeah.
on, and all the presidents that lived there, and all the wealthy people who would do stuff and try to cover it up, and you know, and obviously Grady and
I was just curious,
no,
like if there was like
it exists
It-
in the
okay.
book.
Yeah.
Yes, and I will say this, and we'll maybe go into it more when we do the miniseries, but both hotels have a tremendous amount of Native American
Yes.
influence.
yeah.
I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think Colorado has
Yeah.
that Native American influence.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know, there are a lot of indigenous people that come from that area.
Yes, and I don't know, you know, I don't know how much Kubrick is making a statement as sort of talked about in the making a statement about American politics and the genocide of the natives, or I know this as a writer too. Sometimes you're obsessed with the subject, and I know he was obsessed with the subject matter of the genocide of the natives, and you go, well, this just sort of feels right here, you know, and
Yeah.
he may not necessarily be making a specific statement or.
But I mean, like you said, the location itself
Yes.
was just
Yeah.
like, well,
Yes.
it's here. I might as well not
And
ignore it.
That was another thing that I was sort of like thinking about, you know, it didn't, you know, in the sort of, is this a satire? So many of the movies of the time were built on an ancient Indian burial ground
Right,
and
yeah,
all of this.
yeah.
So I was like, is he sort of playing this up a little bit to troll a bit? You know,
Right.
I
little
don't know.
tongue in cheek. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
2
I
years
don't
later,
know.
you've got Poltergeist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
You know, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know, you know, yeah, but it is present in the book, especially in the background of the
Should I show my can now?
yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes, this is a perfect time.
I don't know
Calumet.
if it'll be.
Yay.
This was a gift from friends from Christmas a couple years ago. They love flea markets, and before they handed it to me, they're like, "Should we explain it? Should we explain like what if she doesn't get it?" I got it.
They don't know you very well, do they?
Not yet. They're getting to know me. Now, then they were like, "Oh no, she got it. Okay, yep, nope, she's good. She's good."
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other like really standout sequences, especially early on.
And
You know,
when
we
they talk about the building of the hotel, Halloran, when they're like walking.
Yes. Well,
in-
I mean, let's talk about Halloran. I mean, his introduction is incredible. One of, I think this is Scatman Carruthers. I think part of this is Kubrick's direction. So much of how that character is presented in the book could be very creepy.
really.
In maybe an
Actually,
unintentional way.
In the miniseries, that was the vibe I got.
Yes,
actually.
Yeah.
you're like he's
Like-
gonna touch Danny.
Exactly. Or like,
Yeah.
just come out and help me load my car, kid.
Yes,
Like,
Yeah.
no, and it plays, and that conversation he has with him, he has in the car,
Right.
silently.
Oh my god.
So it's like, what the fuck is wrong?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
He's
si-
trying to-
aren't they just sitting silently in the car?
Yeah, well, I
Like
mean,
to
they're having a
anyone on the
conversation through the
outside, they're
Shining,
just
yes.
staring off into space.
Yes.
Yeah, so the
Yeah,
other
and-
observers are like, what is going on in that car right now?
yeah.
And you know that could teeter in that direction very easily.
Yeah.
And I love Peebles in
Mary-
the miniseries.
yeah, Mary
in the
Van Peebles,
Mary
yeah.
Van Peebles in the miniseries. I love his Halloran,
Not Mario.
but Melvin.
Melvin Van Peebles.
But a lot
yeah.
of those early scenes do
They're
feel
a little creepy.
Yeah.
And I think you see the sort of balance that Scatman Carruthers had of
Yeah, he's
of-
much more
it's
avuncular with
very
it.
Yeah.
and it's earnest. It's
Yeah.
all there's no he's not playing it up. He
No.
is very you know, I think he I don't know if this was naturally Scatman Carruthers or if this was in the script or whatever. But I think there's a little bit of putting on airs with some of the other the other versions of Halloran in the book and in the miniseries. of like talking to a kid versus him who's just like talking.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
talking to a part, you know.
Yeah, he
and I
doesn't
think he's like there.
infantilize
He doesn't
Yeah.
infantilize Danny.
Yeah.
There's a very like we're
But
on
all-
the same page here.
But all the while, you could see that there's this real thick air of genuine concern.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
yes.
Yes.
You know, because he, having The Shining, kind of understands what's about, which is why he's, you know, tells him to be careful and all these
Yeah.
sort of things. It's not like he's oblivious to what's going on in the hotel.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, he's genuinely you can see the sense of fear in him a little bit more, I think, than the miniseries. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's such a great. I mean it's fucking every performance in this.
I
is
know, really.
great.
Yeah.
It's like hard to say. Like this is
Everyone's incredible.
This is why I read the book and did all this research because it's like once you get into the conversation, it's like yeah, everybody knows Scatman Crothers is great in The Shining. Like, you know, he's fucking great, and that scene is great. You know, him walking Wendy and Danny through the space,
kitchen,
the
yeah.
kitchen,
Yeah.
and you
I
know,
specifically in that scene love how, just to reference how
Yeah.
they bring it across and how Kubrick uses everything. He's
Mhm.
talking to Wendy,
Yeah.
and he just kind of looks over
Yes.
and talks to Danny through his head,
Yes.
and the way he uses the
Yes.
music also
Yeah.
to bring you in
Yep.
on that, like and mutes the sound of him
Yes.
talking. It's just like you're like, whoa, holy shit! Like,
Yeah.
you know, so
Yes.
that's what this is, you know.
it just sort of locks
Perfectly
you in
done.
perfectly. Yeah.
Perfectly
and
done.
I love the way each of them plays the performance of The Shining.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
because I think it is played up a little more in the book, and
Mhm.
and certainly it's played up a little more fantastically in the miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
And Kubrick again just uses very simple editing and very simple sound design to
Yeah.
get that across.
Yeah.
Well, there was something
know?
you were talking about last night when you said that in the book, Halloran tells him to like, no matter how hard it is to do,
Yes.
you got to reach out to me, and you have to use all your power.
All your power,
and even
all your
Danny's
force.
like, I got to use all my.
Yes.
Whereas
And
you
it's like
just
a-
see him,
But he
you just see him
describes it
straining
like
so
being-
hard, he's literally
Yes.
drooling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't need to hear all that. You
Yes.
just you
Right.
could just see it in
Yes.
that quick shot, which
He's
is
he's
so
really-
disturbing
it's
to
such
look
a
at.
creepy, disturbing shot.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's straining, and you know
Yeah.
Doc, you know, hits it. He explains it in the book that Halloran is like it's like being hit with a massive concussive wave. Of
Yeah.
just, like,
Wow.
you know, even from Florida, Danny was
Yeah.
powerful enough to, and
That's
you
so
get that
cool.
across perfectly with
Yeah.
the performances.
Yep.
You know,
By the way, I don't know where I'm going to find it, but I want to find that poster.
the dirty posters of Halloran's and
Grow the giant
Oh.
afro.
Oh my god, yes.
That is
Which
the
one?
greatest poster that has
is
ever existed.
Incredible. That
Yeah.
slow reveal.
Incredible.
I mean, he's fucking.
And I think that's also a bit of Kubrick's humor as well,
Yes.
because you're expecting this horrific scene and you just pull
Yeah.
back and they're like, "This is new lady," because like
And then there's another one
yeah,
behind
but
the
it's Halloran's
TV.
character who's like this, you know, and also like, oh yeah, I mean, he's still a guy.
Yeah.
Dirty
Yes.
old
I
man,
heard
yeah.
somebody describe his room as being like it's like what you would do when you like had a dorm room.
Yes.
Only
Yes.
you just remained that same sensibility, but
Yes.
you classed it up more as
Yes.
you got older.
Yeah, now it's
so
art.
now it's not Tia Bella on your
Right.
on a poster up there. Now it's a beautiful painting of a naked woman.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
not
yes,
just
yes.
It's
not
art
just whatever
now.
you're getting.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love that.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's fucking great. I mean,
I mean, even like the guy who plays Grady is
I love
everybody's
Philip-
performances
Philip
are
Philip Stone.
Who was
so
also
good.
Alex's father in Clockwork Orange.
yes,
That's right.
Yes.
That's
I have
the-
not
the
seen
And
first
he's
time
also,
I saw.
he's also the British consulate in Temple of
Yes.
Doom.
Yes,
Ah,
that's right.
Thank you. I was trying to place
Yes.
him in my mind. Thank you.
You know, and that brings me to my second favorite scene in the movie, which we
The
might be
bathroom?
skipping over quite a bit. What?
The bathroom.
Not the bathroom.
Not
my
the
second
bathroom.
favorite scene is when he's talking
Trunk.
about Lloyd the bartender,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and which mirrors my favorite scene in Doctor Sleep,
Oh,
which is the flip side of that conversation. I love the way Nicholson toes the line there of losing his mind, being taken over by the hotel. How I forget the actor's name who plays
Lloyd. Yeah.
He was in
Tyrell. He was Tyrell in Blade Runner.
Yes.
Blade Runner, and
I'll look him up.
but like the way they both play
Joe Turkel.
Joe Turkel. It's fucking perfect, and the lighting is amazing. I love the sort of white light coming up from underneath
Yes.
from underneath
From the
them,
bar,
which feels
yeah.
so
It's almost
supernatural and
Yeah, like ethereal.
yeah, and
but
the
creepy.
set design, everything is so fucking perfect.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that room, that is
Yeah.
one of my favorite sets.
Yeah, because when
The
you see the
gold-
Yes.
ballroom,
Yes.
The
you're
ball-
literally like, that must have used up every inch of that soundstage.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah, and then the bathroom, so much. I one of the things that I really made me fall in love with this movie, watching it for the podcast, is finding tons of flaws. And I think, especially nowadays in film criticism and whatever, and certainly certainly in old criticism too, they were pointing out flaws in this movie. I don't think flaws disqualifies a movie from being a masterpiece.
Oh, I agree. No,
You know, and there are flaws in filmmaking. They break the 180 rule, which is a rule I'll quickly explain, which is basically the way it was explained to me. When you're thinking of where to place the camera so you don't confuse the audience, imagine that the audience is you're in a theater. The audience is in the crowd, and you can put the camera anywhere on the stage, but there's an invisible line, the line that separates the crowd from the stage, and you can't jump that. Now, there are ways to break it. There's ways to jump it.
Which
this movie breaks it very effectively.
That's actually.
I was going to say, I don't see this as a flaw. This is purposeful.
I know. I think
and it was
does,
made
yes.
specifically to disorient you.
I do. I agree.
Yeah.
That's also a saying in theater, is if you can see the audience can see you.
Right.
So, like,
Yes.
you know, in high school when you're trying to, like, peek behind the curtain
Right.
like, if you can see them, they can see
Yes,
you.
and there's ways of breaking it. Christopher Nolan breaks it all the time.
Yeah.
And usually you break it with a purpose.
Yeah,
You know, usually you break it in conversation scenes where there's two people talking, and there's a moment where it turns, and you want to shift things up so the audience doesn't fall asleep looking at the same conversation.
Yeah.
But he breaks those rules. I mean, there were so many flaws I found watching the scene where Shelley's running through the hotel and running into all the ghosts, and she goes into the main hall, and you see all the skeletons. I'm like, that does not work at all. That
sticks out like a sore thumb. Yeah, it
and
really
I think
does.
what doesn't make it work is that they're dead.
Yeah. Yes.
And
all the other
up
ghosts.
until there was life in that hotel. So what was the purpose of seeing dead skeletons?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I always felt that particular thing
Yes.
that didn't work.
Yeah.
And I think,
But I'm not checking that off to make this not a masterpiece.
Exactly. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think for me as a filmmaker too, that's very encouraging that
Yeah.
a movie can be a masterpiece and still have all
Of
these
course.
flaws.
Yeah.
Spielberg talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
He literally will say, I will look at two pieces of footage, and there's one that is crystal perfect, and the other, like somebody walks and they might stumble a bit, or they might stumble into dialogue. He goes, I'm using that one.
Yeah.
Because that's what real life is.
Yes.
It's not
Yes.
It's more
glossy.
realistic.
Yeah.
You know, I
It's the
remember
human, the very things that make
Right.
us human. Yeah.
we had this conversation many times on Vilo where there would be like, because my dad is editing the feature film we're working on, where there would be a take where it was like, let's go with the one that's in focus, and but we'd be like, no, the performance is better. I know it's a little out of focus and
Yeah.
blurry, but that performance is better.
Like, that's it. That's
Yeah.
the
you know,
one.
like let's stick with that one. You know, and I'm fine with the whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So watching that and realizing all these sort of falls and faults in the filmmaking, I think is really blew me away. And it's weird, like the things that were great that get talked about, obviously we all know, but then those little things, those things that sort of just add a kick of magic, you know? So much of, I mean, Halloran doesn't get talked about as much in the iconography of this movie. I don't think.
Yeah.
You know, I love a lot of his scenes. You know,
He's-
everybody
he's-
talks about the fucking the room 237 and you know, Jack with the axe and the stair sequence and all of that is fucking great. But it's those little moments that, you know, the scene of Wendy and Danny watching TV and or this I burst out laughing because it just jump scared me watching it last night of Wendy and Danny playing in the snow. And then you smash cut to that shot of Jack. where he's just like-
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus fuck, man.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite scenes, or at least the most disturbing, is that scene where Danny comes up to the room.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my
And he's
God.
like,
And
come
he's-
sit with me, Dad. And he goes, you'd never hurt me or Mom, would you? And anybody else on the planet would go, no, of course not. He would go, well, what do you mean?
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like,
What does
oh
that
my God.
mean?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Is there more we want to talk about, like from the movie itself? Because then I could pluck out some more. Like I do want to talk about the shitting for a minute.
No, I am curious about like your take, having read the book, of replacing the topiaries with the hedge maze.
Oh my, okay.
That is very.
We are going to talk about this.
Yeah, I would say
no,
because
you know
that's
what?
an
Do you want to
interesting
save that
conversation.
for?
No. We're not going to. No, I'll bring it up now.
Okay.
And we'll talk
More.
about it. We can talk about it more. I was reading that section, going, how the fuck did they fuck this up in the miniseries? Because how it plays out in the miniseries, in the miniseries, is they're animated, they're moving around and running and jumping and all these things. They don't do that in the book. In the book, it's like
Red light, green light.
red light, green
Yeah.
light,
Yeah.
and it's Jack who encounters them.
Yeah.
So Jack is like, I think that thing moved. And then he looks away and he looks back and it's slightly shifted. And
Which
you're like,
they start it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and that's when it works for
Yes.
me, is when they're
Yeah.
actual shrubs that are like carved. It's when they get animated
Yeah.
that it gets like,
What is happening?
because
Yeah.
at one
yeah.
point Danny's being chased by them,
Yeah.
but he never describes them moving. He always
Right.
describes, I'm feeling them moving.
Yeah, like
And they're
nipping at
just
his
getting
heels and
flipping
yeah.
at his heels, but you never actually see them.
Yeah.
You know, and they attack Dick.
And that's just much scarier.
It's so
It's
much
That's just
so
much
scarier.
scarier
Yeah.
that way.
so much scarier.
But you know, I think
But the hedge maze is pretty cool.
Well, I think it's pretty cool, and I also think, again, talk about visualizing the internal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it does a lot to visualize. No, I mean, mazes. This certainly is something we'll talk about when we talk about backrooms. Mazes often are like a descent into madness and
Yeah.
losing yourself in
Mm-hmm.
in
Right. Because Danny makes his way out,
Yes.
but Jack
Yes.
doesn't.
Yes.
But Danny only makes his way out by also stepping in his father's footsteps.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that is
Yeah.
visualized and
Right.
it's literalized and
I just got chills when you said that.
but he does. I mean that
Yeah.
and again that comes back up.
The first
in
time I
Dr.
saw
Yeah, I was
it,
just gonna say, that
It
follows
blew my
through.
mind. As when I was the first time I ever saw the movie, I was like, "That
Yeah.
kid's a fucking genius."
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Can I also say very quickly, in terms of technically, the Garrett Brown, the Steadicam operator, and also inventor of the Steadicam, when he was shooting that, he had to shoot that on stilts, so that when Danny walked backwards, his footsteps weren't making more.
Oh
He
my
was stepping
God.
in the existing footsteps.
Jesus.
Wow,
Yeah.
good for him. Holy
Now you
shit.
just digitally remove it.
Yeah.
That
Right,
is
exactly.
wild. No,
Yeah.
stilts.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And they weren't like, they weren't
Steadicam
circus
on
stilts. They were
stilts.
just enough
I
so that
can't
he
even
wouldn't
fathom
make.
that.
Yeah.
Still, that's
TJ,
crazy.
you remember the back problems I had doing
yes.
Steadicam
Yes.
in your movie. I'm like,
On one
Add-
shot only,
Oh
yeah.
my
on one
God.
shot on solid ground. I can't imagine stilts in the snow.
And
snow.
now you know
Oh
why
my
there's only one
God.
Steadicam shot in my movie. Josh
Yeah.
abandoned it immediately.
Well, yeah, because
We'll start practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start practicing because I need some Steadicam shots in my next film.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we own a Steadicam. We actually have one.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
realize.
But we just don't use it because it's so hard.
So annoying.
We had one on the first feature that I was in, the adult feature, going up the Birdman parody.
Oh my God. They got a Steadicam in an adult parody?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's actually really it's gorgeous. It's
Wow.
actually really beautifully shot. And like he did the full loop around.
Oh,
because
wow.
we were actually in a theater, in an actual theater for the movie, and he did that full shot. And the poor director Bryn, he's so goddamn funny. He's like, I'm 50 fucking years old. What am I doing? This is porn. It's not that serious. But then he watched it and he was like,
I'm glad.
It's
I did.
worth
yeah,
it.
no,
Yeah.
it's all right. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes there's money. Sometimes.
yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean, something else. I mean, Mel has become obsessed with this. Like,
Aw.
she is like, and she's obsessed with Shelley Duvall.
Nice.
Like, we went out the other night, and she was wearing an almost identical outfit to the one she wears at the end with like the brown overalls and the
Stop.
green. She is like,
That's so cute.
yeah, really obsessed.
I it's just one of those. I have never personally met anybody who doesn't enjoy it. Like, there's some people who maybe don't love it,
Right.
but I've never, at least nowadays, like, well, obviously when it first came out, it was much different, but I don't think I've ever met anybody who's like, oh, that movie's dumb.
No,
Yeah.
It
I
might
mean,
be like, it's not as scary as everyone makes it, or like, but you know, people.
Or they say like, I need to be in the right
Headspace.
to watch that
Yeah,
movie. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what do you mean awake?
And I never used to recommend this movie because I didn't love it as much, and I
Right.
was like, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, and I understood
Sure,
it, and I had an
yeah.
appreciation for it. But I was like, so anytime my friends would be like, oh, what should I watch? I would never be like, go put on The Shining.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then more and more of my friends would watch, and they'd be like, the fucking Shining fucking rocks, man. I'm like, you know, like friends who like had never seen it before and are you know getting into it now in their adulthood.
There's just something.
There's something about it, you know. It's there's a lot of it that's primal, a lot of it that's just you know scratches, you know. And again, you know, we love to talk about the trends of horror, you know, and right now everybody's talking about liminal spaces and all of these things, and they have always been there.
Yeah.
You know, this movie is like one of the originators of it, and certainly God knows that type of horror is existing well before it.
Yeah.
It'll exist well after it. So I don't think it's necessarily just like a Gen Z thing of liking liminal spaces. I think there is something. I think there's something we get about spaces and places and how they you know, I think liminal horror particularly connects to a childlike memory of things.
Yeah.
Which certainly plays here.
Yeah. There's something unnerving about a big empty space that's quiet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the backbone of all of this is. Like the Overlook and the back rooms aren't dissimilar in terms of location.
Oh, okay. This is something I want to throw in.
Yeah.
I will not harp on this too much. I will not talk too much about this. I will talk about it more when we do our Backrooms episode. As I've been on this dive and I am obsessed with Backrooms, it's my favorite movie of the year. Like, it's going to be hard for anything to beat that. Looking at the reactions, the critical reactions and the positive reactions to the Backroom, when I look at the contents of both rooms, if I'm calling my shot now, depending on what they do with this franchise, you never know, whatever. I think the Backrooms could end up being the Shining of this generation.
I've literally been describing it to people as I can appreciate it, I enjoyed it. It's like, but it's more of a Kubrick film. That's how I've been explaining it to people. I'm like, that's the vibe. Like, if you're going in expecting Obsession,
yes,
or you know, slasher,
they're so radically different, which
and beautifully both.
Don't get me wrong, and I love the Obsession. I saw the Obsession 3 times in the theaters.
But I will say, seeing Obsession first and then seing Backrooms, like I definitely want to watch it again fresh. But that's how I've been describing it to people. Ride. I'm like, most people might not like it. That's how I've been describing it. If you're a horror fan, you might not like it. It's very much a Kubrick film.
And I think
now, having said that, it's killing at the box office. So I'm imagining a lot of people are liking it.
But even in the 2-3 weeks since it's come out, I've had people sitting on it who are like, that movie fucking sucked, I hated it. And 2 weeks later, they're like, I think I maybe liked it more than I thought. And it's like, I'm seeing already sort of little opinions. But we'll talk about that movie when we talk about the Backrooms, because we do have to do an episode, because that is my favorite movie this year. Let's talk about The Shining.
Okay.
Which is...
All right, so before we talk about Shining,
yes,
could I tell a kind of awesome story about The Shining?
Yes.
Go for it,
Okay.
Please.
Of course.
So I've talked about these two people before in my life.
This is a great story.
My two mentors in this world are a gentleman by the name of Michael Frith and his wife Kathy Mullen. Michael Frith is he designs puppets. If you ever go to the Museum of Modern Image and you go to the Sesame Street or Attention section and you see all of these pre-production art that's pencil work, that's all Michael Frith.
Oh, cool.
Michael has taught me everything I know today about visual storytelling. His wife is a puppeteer. His wife is literally was the puppet assist for Yoda.
Nice.
And she worked on the Muppet Show. She was a puppet of Yoda and worked on the Muppet Show the same time they were shooting The Shining.
Wow.
Oh.
So the studio, the Hoth studio, the Dagobah studio, was literally down a few hallways from The Shining studio where they were shooting the ballroom and down further, not in Pinewood, but I think I forget the exact studio. They were shooting the Muppet Show at the same time, so they were doing double duty. But during lunch times, because they knew that Danny was there and that they didn't necessarily want him
I love where this is going.
They would visit him during lunchtime and with the puppets, and they would like entertain him the whole time.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's great. That's,
Yeah.
That's so
And it's something
adorable.
not a lot of people know about, but I know it because Kathy would tell me about
That
it because
is
we
so
spent so much
sweet.
time together. Yes.
Oh, wait, hold on. I have an addendum to that, but we're getting... Mel, do you want to... Can you hear us? You're on the air right now. We're recording the Shining episode.
Oh my god, hi!
Hi.
This is my fiance Mel, everybody.
Yes.
We're
What's up?
we're about an hour and a half in. Do you have any thoughts you want to share about The Shining? Because I know you became like obsessed with it and obsessed with Shelley Duvall.
Okay, first of all, not to do with The Shining at all, and all to do about Shelley Duvall. Her outfits in those movies are crazy. I want them all so bad.
Josh literally just got finished talking about
Yes.
how you went on a date in the like overall outfit. That's amazing.
Yeah, like I need them. So I think The Shining was very fun for me as someone who's usually very scared of horror.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I picked up on a lot of like maybe very obvious signs that things were happening. Like Josh was like with the red rum thing. Josh was like, you don't know, like you don't know what's going on, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. So when that got flipped, that was a huge thing for me.
No, but that's awesome. Like I loved watching it with somebody who had zero connection to it or didn't know any of this stuff.
that's like almost impossible. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I felt, honestly, I had the same thing with, like, The Sixth Sense, where I went into that not knowing that he could see, I mean, spoilers, not knowing that he could see
He
ghosts.
gets fine to
Wait,
spoil a
what?
30-year-old
What?
movie.
What?
What?
Spoiler warning on the 30-year-old movie. Yeah, so I think it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I would like to rewatch it. I don't know if it's been mentioned. I was like actively writing a paper for school while I was watching it.
Anytime I looked over, she was typing "all work and no play" makes the episode work.
Yeah, all work no place makes Mel a dull girl. No, so I was actively like doing a paper. So I think that's a movie that I would love to like sit and rewatch.
Yeah.
Or paper rewrite?
Please, God, don't make me rewrite the paper.
All right, I won't let you. I won't hold you up too much. I just saw you called, and I'll let you go.
I'm driving for the next 47 minutes, so if anything, I won't hold you guys up.
Okay.
We'll get pretty dumb if you keep me on.
Yes, I will call you back as soon as the episode's over.
May I give one closing thought?
Of course.
I've read one Stephen King book. Yeah, it was good. That's it.
Do you want to say which Stephen King book you read?
Oh, yeah. I read Salem's Lot.
Right.
It's
And we have a
my
watch
only-
date together. We have to watch that together.
Yes, it was my one introduction to Stephen King. So I do have the Shining book, which I do have to sit down and read. Maybe once I graduate, it will be a treat.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is all. Have a fun podcast.
Thank you. We are.
And
We're doing like a
do not do not become dull boys and girls. Have some fun.
I love you, baby. I'll talk to you after the podcast.
I love you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my god, that was
Perfect.
adorable.
You've never had a call into the show.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Where the we were talking about Danny.
We're talking about the shinning.
The shit.
The shit. You want to get into the
I
shit
told my story
Okay,
already.
this
Yeah.
is perfect. Okay. Yes, this is a good place to pivot after.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fucking great parody, and clearly there's love. You know,
Yes.
from the minute it starts, they capture it perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the camera moves, and again, it's one of those things of like I think a great parody captures the essence of a thing more than it is like a beat for beat. Like they
Yes.
don't do Room 237. That's
Right.
not even referenced.
Yeah.
in it.
No.
Yeah.
You know, you've got. I mean, there's.
It's the emotion. It's the
It's the emotion.
Like you said, the
And,
atmosphere.
you know, one of my favorite jokes in The Simpsons when he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna take all the beer and and unplug the cable box." He's like, "Do you think maybe doing this contributed to the death of the last guy?" He's like, "We'll find out in the spring."
Yeah. So good.
Oh my god!
Last
Forgot
night,
about that one.
we were watching this.
Oh.
TJ and I, we did some a talk show yesterday. So I come home and we start watching The Shining, and
By the way, I would have totally come back inside. Slept on the
you
couch.
should have.
I did not know.
I
You
didn't
should have
know
come in.
until I
no
got
problem.
in.
No problem.
It's,
Josh.
It's all of us. It's me, Josh, Stabby Tech Jake, and my wife Liz. We're watching The Shining, and my wife is like very communal. She has to be around a lot of people. So she goes, I don't know if I could ever do that. Live in a place like that. And I was like, I could literally live in the dead center of that with no one around.
Yeah.
And I
me
would
too.
love it. And Jake goes,
he's like, you would literally be Homer Simpson. He's like, no TV, man, no pyramids.
he goes, as soon as he turned the TV off, he would kill everyone out. And I went, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Nice. You're like, oh wait, yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love the joke of like every time he breaks down the door, there's a different like late night reference.
yes,
Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
that
Morley
was
Schaefer,
"Got my
Elizabeth
boss, I'm
Stewart.
gonna say for all this in 60 minutes.
so cute.
It's just a joke a minute. Like it's so and it's this shinning. You want to get sued?
Would
You
you
want
get
to get
sued?
sued?
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of obviously cartoons have parodied it. We were talking
We
about
talked
South
about the
Park
South
earlier,
Park
and I do
parody.
love that.
Right.
I love Randy Marsh's character.
Randy Marsh.
But Rocco's Modern Life even does,
Oh,
but it's
do they
only
really?
like a
Right.
Oh,
scene.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it's
Rocco's
it's
Modern
when
Life, classic.
Heifer is a security guard overnight at like the mall or I think like Conglommo offices.
I
And he
can't-
has, and
oh
they
my
have
God.
a bartender, Lloyd, and it's like the whole scene is like bathed in red light,
Oh,
and he's
that's
like
amazing.
talking. He's trying to get more snacks, I think, or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, but nothing quite rises to the level
No,
that this
I mean,
does. It's
this is
the intention and care.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Simpsons problem is a thing writers talk about frequently in writers'
Yeah.
rooms
Aw.
of when you are sitting down to write an episode of television. Not only has The Simpsons done it, they have done it better.
Yeah.
Like it is.
Yep.
That is
There's
a
no way
problem
around it,
in the
right.
writers'
Yeah.
rooms.
I love when they
Probably
represent
my favorite
Which is a
South Park
an
episode.
entire
Yeah.
South
Simpsons
Park
did it.
episode. Yeah.
Simpsons did it. I love that.
Yeah. No, I mean they are just great at what they do.
Yep.
And then I love the running joke throughout all the episodes because they do the 10-minute version of The Shining and then they have the Treehouse of Horror where they do a bunch of other little ones. Where in all of them, Willie gets killed in the ass.
Take an axe to the back in every
Just takes
single
an
one.
axe to the
Yes.
back.
And then the last one is like, oh, come on.
Yeah, come on.
And it's great. I love the bit where they're like, oh, we forgot Lisa. Okay, we got to circle back.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot this. We circle back.
We forgot Grandpa.
We forgot Grandpa.
I said we forgot Grandpa.
Guys, I said we forgot Grandpa.
We're going
Are
back
we
again,
going to go
right?
back for Grandpa?
Oh my god, so good.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is. The
It's
Shining's a good movie.
It is. I mean, and clearly, like we're still
Not
talking
bad.
about it. The effect it's had culturally. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a staple at this point. Even if you've never
Yes.
seen it, you've heard the references of something. You've heard either "Here's Johnny" or you've
Yes.
heard, the music.
Yeah.
It's
The music, the Room 237.
It's just-
Which, from my understanding, and I don't know how true this is, that when that first happened, Nicholson yelled, "Here's Johnny," and Kubrick didn't know what he was talking about
Yes.
because he'd been living in London,
London
England.
forever.
He'd been living in England long before Carson was on.
so he
the
had no
Tonight
idea
Show.
what he was doing.
Yeah.
Well,
and
that's
so
funny.
Nicholson had to explain it to him, and then he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
And
just
that
do
phrase,
Yeah.
that phrase to me is basically just The Shining.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've
It's
never watched
synonymous
really
at
any
this
Johnny
point.
Carson
Yes.
in my life.
No,
You know what I mean?
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't even know it was a Johnny Carson reference
Right.
until like 5 years ago. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It's so sort of synonymous, and I love the use of pop culture references in the Shining universe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
the pop culture references that King has in the book are very different than the pop culture references that Kubrick uses in this,
Right.
but they're both used to effect of
Mhm.
like populating Americana,
Yeah.
within this world. Certainly Flanagan has plenty of pop culture,
Yes.
references in
Dr.
Dr. Sleep. They weren't as many in the miniseries, but I would assume that is probably like a television legal thing.
Yeah, made for
could be.
TV is a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were definitely not. There wasn't like Bugs Bunny playing on the back.
Right.
No,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
oh my
were
God, this-
owned by Warner Brothers, so that was easier for
Yes.
that movie. But they were definitely because it was when we were watching it, I was definitely thinking, and this is the miniseries, when they were playing music, I was like, oh, that was the one that was available to them.
Yep,
That was a song
yep.
that was like
Yeah.
available to them at that time.
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
like no hints of anything even like in the paper. So yeah,
Right.
it's interesting. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pivot slightly, but I'm thinking of this because of I noted this morning watching it on television censorship, because notably they do not call Halloran the N-word in
Yeah.
the miniseries.
Yeah.
They do twice
Mm-hmm.
in the movie.
Mhm.
You would not believe how many slurs there are
Oh
towards
my God,
Halloran in
yeah.
the book. Any chapter in Halloran's head has a dozen N-words.
Wow.
And no less than 5 slurs I had to Google because they probably weren't used since the Civil War.
Oh my god.
There were ones where I was like, what the fuck is that? And then I Googled it and he's like, oh, he's talking about a firecracker.
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
like, can't even use the word.
Yeah, I know what
I
you're
can't
talking
even
about, yeah.
allude to what that one was. Like, it was. I was like, Christ almighty king. I was like, you
Yeah.
need to...
King uses that word a lot in his books.
Basically...
And I remember thinking it was in Christine, and there are no black people in Christine whatsoever.
There's
None.
King, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because you read a Stephen King book.
Yeah.
I have read many. I
Oh my
love
God.
his writing.
Yeah.
And you go, oh my God, he's the greatest American writer of all time. And then you get to any scene with sex or black people, and you are reminded that he is like a 50-year-old guy from Maine.
50-year-old white guy.
Yeah, a 50-year-old white guy from
Middle
Maine.
class.
And you're just like, oh my.
Oh, that's so wild.
There are some very poorly written sex scenes between him and Jack and Wendy
Oh god.
that are just like, oh,
Oh,
like so gross.
thank you for sparing us that at
And
least.
then they mush their bikini parts together.
Dude, it is not that far off.
I'm picturing Birdemic, like bathing suits on top of khakis. That's what I'm picturing. Oh God.
Thank
Thank you for sparing us that, Kubrick, and the miniseries. Actually.
Yeah.
God,
Yes.
thank you.
Well, also, like, one of my issues reading the book, and again, I think this comes from taking into account a woman's perspective, is I didn't necessarily buy any of the scenes where Jack and Wendy had sex, because
Yeah.
I was like, this feels more connected than they should be at this moment
Right.
in the story. And I think Kubrick was wise about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Although I do remember, because I haven't read the book in a very long time, and it wasn't until you started bringing stuff up that I was like, oh, I remember this, this. But I do remember like a post-coital scene where Wendy was up, and it was from her point of view, and I remember thinking, oh,
there's-
I liked it because it was so empty.
There's
The
one
sex
early
is just
on.
so empty.
There's one
Yeah.
early on that is that.
Yeah.
And,
Like
and
he
I
was
did care for
passed
that.
out,
Yes.
and yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There are a couple. There's a couple of them in the book.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are particularly well written. But
Yeah.
that one
Yeah.
was particularly effective and placed and
Yeah, no smushing bikini parts.
yeah. King sometimes, man.
It's like he's still ashamed to say it.
Yeah,
or
well,
something.
he's like a Boy Scout too. And
Yeah.
like,
Like,
you
he'll
know-
drop out, but apparently drop the N-word like 10,000
Well,
times.
yeah.
But he won't say penis.
That's
All right.
just Maine, you know? That's in the
That
woods
is-
of Maine.
That is what it's like to live in Maine.
Don't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Pet Cemetery. There's like some sex scenes that aren't like well written.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's wild.
Yeah, I love Pet Cemetery. Do we what else do we? I mean, we're coming up on
Yeah, are we?
2 hours.
All right.
Jesus.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That went fast.
Do we want to? Okay, this could open it up.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking, I was like, how are we gonna do our normal episode?
We're going to do
format?
favorite kill?
Well, we can't do
I
favorite kill,
know.
right? So I was like, let's do favorite scene.
Nice. Okay.
So we'll go around. TJ, will start with you. We'll circle around. We'll talk favorite scene, and we can all discuss them as they crop up.
Okay, great.
All right.
I mean,
TJ.
we kind of already discussed it, but it is the Lloyd original bartender
Yes.
scene.
Yes.
The whole walk in, hands down, you know, sell my soul for a glass of beer, and you look up, and then there's Lloyd standing right there
Yes.
behind.
Yep.
That whole back and forth, and I love the conclusion of that with Wendy. Jack! Jack! And he's just like,
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
mean, it's so perfect in how it's edited, it's written, it's performed, it's lit. You know, the set design, like I said, that's my favorite set in the movie. It's a perfect scene. I mean, it's so indicative of Jack's internal life. and the hotel taking over him.
Well,
You know, 'cause-
and Lloyd's like basically just leading him to his own madness in the whole
Yes.
conversation.
Oh, yeah.
He's just agreeing with him, just
He's
pushing
just
him a little
pushing
bit
the
further down the
glass
road.
just
Another
a little
glass for
closer
you.
to the
Yeah,
edge.
yeah.
Whereas in the miniseries, I think the bartender's a little, pushier.
Yeah,
You know, is
yeah.
a little more like.
The ghosts in general were pushier
Yes, they
in
were.
the
Yes.
miniseries. Yeah.
Um,
And we'll touch
and
on that. Yeah.
I think we're gonna have a very fruitful conversation.
Oh, there's so much to talk about.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
with the
I'm
miniseries.
excited.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's a lot we'll touch on. R.E. the book too that wasn't in the that we didn't discuss here and
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm excited. Rob?
Favorite scene?
I touched on the scene with Danny and Jack when they sit down. I'm not going to talk about that one. I think to me the scariest that was my favorite scene, but I think to me the scariest scene is the scene in the food pantry when he's locked inside because he talks to Lloyd. Lloyd is on the outside. He's talking. Is it Lloyd or is
Grady.
it
It's Grady.
He's talking to Grady outside, and he's talking, and then the door unlocks.
Yeah.
And to me, what makes that the most scary is because up until then, you are never sure if all of this is inside his
Yeah,
head.
that is the only physical.
That's the first
Yeah.
time something physically happens,
Yep.
and he is set free.
Yep.
I think
Like there is
that's
no
also-
other explanation
Yeah.
for that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Good one.
we sort of get it in the book, and well, you know what? I'll bring it up because it plays into the scene I was going to pick. But Sonia,
I think mine actually is the end hedge maze and just like watching Danny outsmart his father and the way the cameras they're much steadier with Danny and it's handheld with Jack. It's up close and you just the contrasting feelings and mindsets and just the stark contrast
Yes.
visually of the snow and the hedge.
and I think that I was listening to an interview with the cinematographer for the Backrooms. They were saying in the Backrooms they used a lot of wide lenses, which distorts things, but also gives you a full view
Yeah.
of the environment. And
Right.
they do that same technique in the maze.
Particularly in the maze. And I was going to touch upon that before because, again, that was a technique you didn't... So you've seen Steadicam. You've seen Steadicam up until that point in Halloween. You've seen it in Rocky. There were a bunch of, actually, independent films that had used it up until that point. But this is the first time it was used in such a way that you're using a steady camera with a wide-angle lens in enclosed places to make it feel so much more claustrophobic.
Yeah. Well,
You
that
know,
was something Kubrick. I mean, when the technology was coming up,
Yeah.
and he was getting sort of early test footage of the Steadicams
Yeah.
and was getting dailies from Halloween and all of this stuff, he would send them back copious notes of like, how low can you get the camera? How
Yeah.
many inches from the ground?
Yeah.
How quickly can you pivot this? And he was like getting very copious notes and sending them back and forth and being like,
Nice.
well, what if you flip it upside down and then you flip the footage in post and a lot of like very technical
Right.
stuff. So he was and that wide angle because it distorts things. Any sort of movement you get is that much bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels that much grander and ethereal and less real and
Yeah.
And I mean, kind of as it should in that moment. It's
Yes.
like Danny's triumph and like his
Right.
freedom.
yeah. And also, and per the framing of things, it makes the maze, it shrinks down how big they look in the frame.
Yeah.
And it envelops them in the maze.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
no, I was
and
talking
because
about the
you have
end
such a...
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they're running through the hedge. Right?
Yeah.
Like the chase scene.
The
Yeah.
chase.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
and
what I'm
because
saying,
you have
because as
such
they're
a...
running, there's the maze itself.
Oh, you mean like that way?
Because
Okay.
it's so bulbous, it
Right,
sort of
right.
envelops
And
them.
because you have such a wide-angle lens, the edges are whizzing past you so
Yes.
much more.
Yeah.
So it adds this insane kinetic energy to something that may not have been as energetic if
Yes.
you'd used like a 20 millimeter lens
Right.
or a 35 or something like that.
Yeah. Josh?
I'm not going to pick my favorite because I said my favorite scene is probably the one with Shelley at the beginning. I think the scene that sort of stuck out to me watching it this time last night is the scene where she finds Jack passed out on the floor after his nightmare, which I said I love. That was a scene I really enjoyed visiting after reading the book, because there's no indication of what that nightmare is.
Right.
If you've read the book, you know what the nightmare is.
Oh, okay.
He was dreaming about his father. That's not important. I don't think that's important for you to know, and I don't even know if Jack Nicholson knew that. I don't know if he read the book.
He says what.
Well, he says
it.
he killed him and Danny.
Yeah,
and chopped them up into little pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, does he say that?
Yeah.
He does. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He has like the great.
Then he's sitting there, which is one of my favorite moments. He's sitting there. And then Danny and she looks at Jack, and he's like,
well, that's
what?
I was just fucking passed out right here on the
that's
floor.
what
What do you think it was
I
me?
love when Danny comes in.
That's slow.
And it's the shot over his shoulders.
Yeah.
Because I think that speaks so much to Wendy's character, who I think watching it this time with all this, I think she kind of is the main character, you know? And I what I love so much about it is it gives you Danny's perspective, right? Of his mother and father struggling, you know, because one of the things I love so much about the book is Danny's perspective of these adult emotions that he is bombarded with because he has the shine, you know, his daddy's alcoholism, his mother's anxieties, his mother's thoughts of divorce.
Yeah.
You know, but that he can't metabolize it because he's like 5.
Right.
And so much of the book is in Danny's perspective, trying to wrap his head around this stuff. And so in that one shot, you get that. You get him walking in, and then you have Wendy, who's trying to cover for Jack and being like, stay over there. Don't see your dad this way, you know? And then if I remember correctly, that's the same scene where she walks up to him and he's got the
that's the
handprints on. Yeah, and then she immediately pivots it to, oh my God, Jack's hurt him again. You know, and it's so, it plays all these beats that again in the book you take for granted that it takes a couple hundred pages to get a lot of this information across you, and in one scene with some very simple blocking and
it's like their entire
performances,
family
it just
dynamic.
completely gets the family dynamic in one like perfect scene.
Good choice. And I love that the camera motion, the slow creep, because we can see Danny's sweater is torn too.
Yeah.
So like, we know something happened, but we're still not quite sure. And just that, like then Shelley kind of bridging the
and
two.
this is before the pantry scene, so that when Jack goes, maybe he did it to himself. You then still, you still don't know what's real and what's not real.
Yeah. Kick ass. Good choice.
Smash or slash?
I mean, there's like, what, 5 people?
There's 5 people in the whole movie.
Okay. Do you have it, or do you want me to do it?
I mean, do I need to pull up a list?
Right?
Jack Nicholson?
I mean,
Smash?
He's an obvious smash.
Smash.
Yeah.
I'd be scared, but
He's
smash.
like a top 5 all-time
Yeah.
smash.
Shelley Duvall?
Smash.
Scatman Crothers? Smash.
Smash.
Barry Nelson? Smash.
Smash.
Definitely Barry Nelson. He was James Bond. He was Jimmy Bond. How could
Jimmy
you not?
Bond!
He would smash you, I think.
Philip
so.
Stone is a little creepy. I
Grady?
maybe wouldn't. Yeah, Grady.
Yeah, I
don't
might
know.
slash Grady.
Maybe slash.
Sorry,
Yeah, same
Grady.
with Joe Turkel.
Yeah.
I might pass on
Oh,
that
yeah,
one.
Lloyd?
Yeah.
Lloyd could get it.
I think I'm slashing on that one. He's got those deep sunken eyes that are just.
That's what
Little
Sonya
too
likes
creepy.
now.
The darkness.
Yeah, that's right.
The woman in
I can
237.
fix him.
Which one?
When she's
the young woman in
she's hot, yeah,
237.
smash.
The young one, yes. Old one, double smash.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh my.
All right, that's kind of everybody.
Are we still doing?
What about
Two
Danny's
Truths?
doctor, Danny's psychiatrist?
Oh fuck.
Dan Jackson?
Did you forget about
I
Two Truths
did-
and a Die?
I got so deep in the shit I forgot.
I
about-
literally just as we were wrapping up, I was like, I forgot about Two Truths and a Die. Oh shit! I need
Okay,
to.
hold on. Can I?
Oh,
pull one
yeah,
out of
so
my
did I.
ass?
If you want, if you can,
Let me see.
if anybody can pull them out of your ass, it's you right now.
Okay.
With how deep in the lore you
All right,
are.
we're on a high wire right now. Okay.
For anybody who's
Um,
new, Two Truths and a Die. It's Two Truths and a Lie.
Right.
Josh is gonna give us 2 truths and a lie, and we'll
Yes.
see if we
Yeah.
can get it.
I
And
totally-
now I'm like,
I totally forgot about
right?
it.
I know. We're all during dinner. We're gonna be like,
Yeah, think we have a break. Good for us.
right?
Thank God I don't have a episode this.
Oh fuck. Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm excited, actually.
There are. These are so fuck it. There are 2 versions of this movie.
Lie. I'm just-
a European version that is shorter and an American version that is longer. The movie that's playing on the TV was a TV movie that Stanley Kubrick directed. Shelley Duvall never read the book.
Ooh. I was so sure for a second. And then you threw that at me.
I think it's the second one.
I'm trying to remember what it was. Not that I'm going to know it.
The TV show?
Yeah.
I'm going with 3.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 3 based on your cadence, I think. But
Wait, like, which one's the lie?
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah, 2 I think is the lie. Is the die.
Yeah, because I know 1 is true. Fuck, but why do I feel like I heard that she didn't read it? Those are really good, Josh, because then, like, number 2 would track if that was true because he would have the rights to it, so they could easily show it. But I'm going to go with 2 is the lie.
So I just had to Google this because the second 2 were both lies.
All right.
For some reason, I thought she hadn't read it.
Yeah.
They were both. Okay.
So 2 was a lie.
2
Only
and 3
because
were lies.
the only thing that's ever on TV are cartoons.
No, there's a live action.
Is there?
Yeah, when they're watching TV.
Yep.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, the one where there's like the no cable on the
Yeah,
TV. That's
if
a
they're
live
watching
action.
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, then, all right.
That's how everybody wins.
That was a
Everybody
double
won.
parter.
Yay! Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we went. That's 2 hours.
All
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
record.
Good
Good
for
shit,
us.
guys. This
Yeah.
was a good episode. I had built this up so much that I was afraid it wasn't going to go.
Yeah.
No, I
Nope.
knew.
That's
I've
went great.
been,
We got 2
Yeah.
episodes.
I've
All
been
right.
so excited for this theme.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is another episode of the Stabby Road Podcast. Please like and subscribe us on YouTube. And don't forget now to watch us every Saturday night at 11 o'clock on Strong Island TV. If you have the Roku channel, you've got Strong Island TV. So come watch us every Saturday night at 11. There's 2 horror movies that come before us, and then we have us. And then you could see us at 2 a.m. A couple of nights after that until our new episodes drop. So there's that. And then don't forget to listen to us wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget to follow and like us on Instagram, TikTok, and, of course, that fucking butterfly dragon.
Blue Sky.
Fucking Blue Sky, yes.
We're gonna put
Which
it.
I think I
we're gonna
said.
put it. We're gonna
Anybody update
write
Blue
it
Sky?
At this
somewhere
point,
up there
I think
so
I
that you have to
completely
look up and
abandoned
see
it.
it.
I was gonna
So
say,
if you
I
come
don't know
across Blue
anybody
Sky,
that uses Blue Sky. Remember when people were like, Mastodon is going to be the real thing? I
Yeah.
was like,
The
no,
only-
not fucking getting
yeah.
Mastodon.
I was
Yeah,
the
I'm
only
going to
reason
Blue
I
Sky. Yeah, and I'm
went
like-
to Blue Sky was because that's where like porn people went.
Yeah.
We were panicking. We were like, oh no, they're
Yeah.
gonna get rid of us. So like, let's and yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
Nobody.
updated the Stabby Blue Sky account.
I have not.
We can probably just like leave that.
You can just
off.
leave it, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget to, if you are a horror filmmaker
Yes.
and you have a horror film that's under 30 minutes, or you're for a horror screenwriter and you have a horror screenplay that is under 30 minutes, do not forget to go to Film Freeway and go to Scared for Your Life so that you can submit those things. Make sure you do it before October 31st so that we can get it in. And if you are selected, you'll be screening at December 19th of this year at the Cinema Arts Center. And do not forget to use promo code STABBY2026 for a discount. And that's it. Thanks again. This has been an amazing episode, 2 episodes of The Shining. On behalf of myself,
TJ Kiss.
Sonia Harcourt.
Stabby Tech Josh.
Thank you for
taking
taking
a
walk on
walk
the Jack
on
the
Nicholson
thing of the
awkward
guy of the
maze.
thing of the...
Danny Moore!
We forgot to talk about
Darren
Scatman
Moore?
Crothers' super insane bow legs.
That's it. Cut.
Stabby Road Podcast was created by Joe Senna. Recording technicians Josh Graydon and Eric Todd. The Stabby Road Podcast is a production of Fourth Castle. All rights reserved. See you next week.